You guys, we had a chance to speak to the stars of season 4 of Jack Ryan. Check out our conversation with Abbie Cornish and Betty Gabriel. This is an absolute pleasure. Can I just say, Abbie, I'm so happy you're back.
Yay! Thank you so much. Me too.
Tell me this, was it a no-brainer when you got the call and they're like, hey, season 4, come
Well,
on back?
I didn't see it coming, to be honest, because season 2 and season 3. So I sort of thought maybe Kathy was, a thing of the past, but it makes sense, and I think fans of the show really wanted that because it grounds him in a sense of reality, and it gives him a familiar space and a space where he can be more personable, and I think people enjoyed that with his character.
I was just going to say, if you could talk to me about that, because the Tom Clancy novels are incredibly male, but Kathy is a great foil to Jack.
Yeah.
I think it brings out the human side of Jack as opposed to the analytical military side of Jack. And I was wondering if you could talk about that in the show.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I think we all like to see our hero enjoying himself at the same time, and I think he really loves her, and she really loves him. And there's something really touching about that. Like it's a part of him that I think we want to see and we want him to experience. We want him to know that he's amongst all of the chaos and the hard work, that he is still, that he feels loved and that he's having a good time. And yeah, it's sweet.
Betty, Elizabeth is obviously a new character that was introduced to the show, and I was curious if that made things easier for you. I know book nerds are nowhere near as scary as comic book nerds, but you don't have the pressure of having to adapt a character from the pages of fiction. Was that easier or harder that you didn't have a reference point?
I think it was challenging and rewarding for different reasons. But I really love that she's this female empower in a very male dominant world. I'm glad that she does exist in the universe, because that's that's just fodder for good television, I think, to explore that dynamic, to explore female leadership. I think it's very inspiring, and it gives the show an opportunity to broaden the audience. And when you have people that can identify with this character and be inspired by this character, I mean, it's just, why not?
And for the both of you, I was curious about what it was about they're calling it the Clancy verse. They call everything verses these days. But what was it about this material that first drew you to it? I mean, I know you've said in interviews before, Betty, that you kind of came to the material after you got the job, which I think a lot of people do. But what was the appeal, and what made you go, oh, yes, this is something I can see me commit the next few years of my life to?
Yes. Well, I'm a sort of like, let's see what happens kind of person. And luckily what happened was that I really fell in love with this character. I mean, she's so smart, driven, and just, I don't know, the world of the CIA. It's very, in my imagination, very sort of just sexy.
It's very cool, right? Yeah.
It's very cool. It's not like sexy, like here's me in a sexy top, but it's like here's me doing these like really secretive things and doing it with style, and the heat is on, and ooh, it's just juicy.
I was just speaking to Michael and Louis, and I was wondering, as actors, if this whole notion of verses and franchises appeals to you.
I don't know if I necessarily gravitate towards it, but there's something nice about getting in and knowing that you have the room to play within a certain character environment within a world, and you can build upon that, develop that, and particularly knowing that there's already a strong fan base that exists, that there is already an audience there, right? We didn't have to come into this convincing people to watch it. People are already ready to soak it up, and then we just had to pull through with the goods. So there's something really cool about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, right? Because does mean a bigger commitment. A film is one and done. and yes, you can have the sequels to that as well, but having that time to really develop your character over years, I mean, My goodness, that's quite a treat.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a commitment phobe in that I like to sort of bounce around and date around and kind of just like be that chick. But I think, yeah, I would also welcome the opportunity to, especially with this character, to really
I
have
have this image of Prime sending you a 5-year contract and you going, "It's not you, it's me."
right.
I'm not quite
I'm not quite ready. I've got like 45 seconds left, but of course, I think as a fan of the novels and as a fan of the Jack Ryan character, what you guys have done in your show is tremendous because you've kind of delivered. Like, this is what the fans were waiting for, and it's so good. But I need to ask you, and I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, but I'm assuming that if that spin-off happens, because there's all this news, that you guys would love to be a part of it, or if you're already a part of it, looking past your commitment phobia.
Absolutely. I would work up a sweat, but yeah, I would probably end up saying yes.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
cool.
Me too. I mean, it's such a cool world to be a part of. And
Right.
yeah, just great characters and so much to dive into.
It's very cool. Well, congratulations, guys. The show is just tremendous. I'm having a great time. So well done, and thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The world is a game board of changing hands.
Nothing but vipers beyond these walls.
Don't forget to check out season 4 of Jack Ryan when it premieres on Prime Video Friday, June 30th. You can also watch seasons 1, 2, and 3. We highly recommend it. Let us know what you think of the show. Sound off in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.